is going to be very, very helpful because this is part of the journey that a lot of traders go through and nobody really says anything about it. So I'm going to give you step by step, 3 simple steps to help you jump over this typical, and notice I'm saying typical hurdle that most traders all deal with. Okay. So what's happening to you if you're struggling, you're not feeling happy about your trading, whatever, you're not alone. Okay. This is part of the journey. And I know people say that all the time, but it really is. It really is. Okay. So I hope you take notes. I want to give you 3 simple things to think about when you're trading, okay? So that you will get over this hurdle that you may be finding yourself stuck in, okay? I will say this, I have allergies and they're attacking me like nobody's business. So while I'm helping you, I got to help myself. So I may stop for sneezing purposes. So I apologize ahead of time. Good thing it's not me on the stage live in front of an audience and it's just on camera. So therefore nobody has to be concerned about whether Uncle P is sneezing on them and COVID and this and that. And I just have bad allergies. Okay. That's what you get for walking in nature. All right, here we go. Here we go. Number one, write this down. This is very important. Remove your end goals from your weekly goals. Okay, I'll explain this. Just write it down. Remove your end goals from your weekly goals. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, everybody. Remove your end goals from your weekly goals. What does that mean? All right. On last week, I had my son to come to class and he was talking and I clearly showed a distinction between my experience in Forex trading and his experience in Forex trading. And there was a vast difference between the two. And in my opinion, his experience is not the typical experience. My experience when I was starting out is typical. So here's how that looks. When I started trading Forex was at a time where I had just lost basically my wealth. From my prior real estate investments, everything was falling apart. And therefore I was looking for another place to make money. Okay, I was looking for a way out, which is where many traders are finding themselves today. Even yourself, you may be trying to find a way out of a current situation. And because of the pressure of trying to change your life overnight, because you want to be out of a particular situation, it tends to interfere with your trading journey process. Okay? Why is that? Every trade that you place is not just a simple trade. It is a trade of hopes and dreams. Your future is placed on that trade. Therefore, every trade holds a heavy weight of pressure. Not for the markets, because the markets don't know anything about you. But every trade you place carries weight on you because of your hopes and dreams of changing your current situation for the better. Now, was there anything wrong with that, Uncle P? Absolutely not. But the problem is that now that's why you have many traders who can't put their phone down, not even for 2 minutes after they place the trade. Because they're nervous about this trade, whether it's going to win or lose. Why? Because this trade must win because I have to get out of my situation, whether that's I need to pay some emergency bills, I need to quit this job. You write it down, but you see, you're putting pressure on the trading process. Okay? Now, that was me. And so I understand the problems that comes with it. Number one, let's take a look at some of the problems. Number one, you're over leveraging on every trade because you're trying to quickly flip this account. Come on now, that's the truth. So you're constantly blowing accounts while trying to build an account. Write that down. And be honest with yourself if this is you. Are you blowing accounts because you're too quickly trying to build an account? And therefore, instead of putting a normal leveraged amount on the trade and stepping back and just chilling, saying win or lose, it's all good. No, every trade must be a winner. And on top of that, you're putting a whole lot of extra on that trade, more than what you know you promised yourself you wouldn't do anymore. Some of you guys, come on, we got to be honest if you're going to be free. Some of you guys have told yourself that I will not over leverage again. And yet when the market's open, what do? You over leverage again. Are you hearing me? Hey, Leo, hello there. And from Algeria, all the way from Algeria. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And I know thousands will be watching this video later. I'm helping you to comprehend where your flaws are. Every trade will not be a winner. We all know and accept this until you start trading with this kind of pressure. So the first thing I need you to do is just to take a step back from what you're trying to deliver yourself from and just take a trade. I'll give you a perfect example. A lot of people don't worry about demo accounts. In my opinion, I think traders don't spend enough time in demo accounts. Demo accounts is far more valuable than just trying to practice a particular trading style. Far more valuable than that. Here's what you don't get. When you're trading in a demo account, yes, you're perfecting a trading skill. And oftentimes you see that, yes, if you leave these trades alone, they work out perfectly. Not all of them, but over time, you build the account on the demo account. That's why you're ready to jump into a live. Unless you're like many people who don't even stop to demo trade. I think they're hurting themselves. Me personally, I still demo trade when I'm practicing different things. Why would I put my money out there? See, I've learned to step back and stop trying to force my dream first and just say, hey, let me just go through the process. Here's the other thing that a good demo account trading will do for you that a lot of traders don't realize. It helps you to get normal feelings in the process. In other words, when you're trading live, you're so full of tenseness and stress and everything else. Minnesota in the house. Hey, what's happening, Russ? All right. So what happens is when you're staying in a demo account for a little while, it's not just training you on the trading style, but it's also training your emotions to handle how to hold a trade without panicking and falling apart. And that valuable lesson is, to me, just as valuable as the demo trade to test out the strategy. See, people look at demo testing for strategies as just to test the strategies. No, I also learned to stay in demo account so that I can learn to, if I see a good trade that's just sitting there, which, by the way, I'm just kidding, keep your eyes on the JPY pairs this week. They've been shot way beyond boundary. At some point, they do have to come down. When exactly? I don't know. But just using that as an example, when I see something that is just well beyond its boundaries, it's showing me a great setup, you get in the trade, and yet every 2 minutes you're staring at your phone. Some of you guys, you're jeopardizing your job. You ain't got to worry about quitting your job. You're about to lose it. Why? Because once you place a trade, every few minutes, you're constantly on the phone and your boss sees this and they think that you're doing something else, such as probably texting somebody, enjoying on social media, and they don't realize, no, you're having a panic attack because you entered this trade and it must win. So you're watching this trade like a hawk, and your boss is watching you like a hawk, and you're about to lose that job over a $10 trade. Because that's about what you got on there. You're about to lose $10 and you can't even handle losing $10 on a trade. How do you think it's going to be possible for you to emotionally handle trying to make a full-time living in thousands of dollars a month off of trades if you can't handle being comfortable with risking $10? Are you understanding what I'm saying? See, demo account will teach you how to temper your emotions and to walk the heck away. Matter of fact, when I know that I'm drifting back into my bad habits of staring at my phone too much, I actually will take the MT4 off my phone. I still have to do it to this day because I don't want to get addicted to staring at a trade that could have played out perfectly had I just left it alone. And one of the best ways to do that, where you just take a trade and leave it alone, and I'm gonna get back to what my son said, because some people were in class and heard him. He explained his journey. He explained how he's trading gold but he said it's like his new video game to him. See, one of the key things that he said was because he's in a comfortable place. Therefore, when he trades, he's trading just like it's nothing more than a video game. And he, on the day last week when we were talking, I think he was 14-4 for that day using a strategy he created. He was 14-4 on that day. And the time before that, he was 30-0. See, to him, his trading journey, it has no pressure attached. And he also said he trades with such small amounts until it's like he don't care. So the more he tempers himself, the more prosperous he became. The more you're putting pressure on yourself to succeed on every trade, the more you're losing. Do you see the difference? You're not relaxed. And that's what's required in this game. You have to have neutral emotions because the market doesn't care about you. It doesn't give a flying flip about, I almost said something. It doesn't care about you. You care about it. It does not care about you. You're bringing all these emotions into an arena that doesn't require any emotions at all. And that's because you're dragging your dreams and your goals and your life. And I want a mansion and I want a Lamborghini, Uncle P. And I want to quit my job tomorrow, Uncle P. And you dragging all of this into that trade. How has that been working for you? Next, number 2. This is huge. What you learn is far more important than what you make. Write this down. This is critical. I'm telling you, this is going to help you. What you learn is going to be far more critical than what you make. Let me tell you guys something. You know what kind of emails I get a lot? Always, how much should I start off with? Do you think this is enough to start off in my trading account? No, I don't. I don't care if you're telling me you want to start with $50 or $10,000. I don't care how much you have. The answer is, for me, it's going to be no, it's not enough. You know why? It's not about the money. You haven't even tested the strategy. You haven't tested you first. And if you have no control over yourself, as such as we just talked about, no matter how much more money you put in, you're just giving that money straight to the market. Why? Because a lot of people don't come in, they don't look at tutorials, they don't go to trainings, they don't come to my free classes, nothing. So I can't tell you how much is a good amount to start with. Why? Because you're in a rush to be successful and rich versus just enjoying the journey of learning. Once you get it down packed, it's like, it's nothing. It's like driving. Let me give it to you guys like this. When you get trading down packed, it's just like when you first learned to drive a car. You remember when you first learned to drive a car, you had your hands at 10 and 2 and you was gripping that wheel real tight, and anybody trying to play music, no, it's a distraction, turn that radio off, and you were focused and you were intense, trying not to kill yourself and nobody else. You remember that? See, that's where you are in your trading. You're just intense. Now, man, you driving with one finger, especially them dudes, we lean way back and driving with one finger, listening to music on the cell phone. Ladies, you driving with your knee, doing your lashes, all that. See, you're not even thinking about driving no more. It's just second nature. See how that's not even an issue for you no more. You're multitasking while you're driving. It's second nature. And when you get through the process and the journey of just simply learning a skill, by the time you look up, trading is just going to be second nature. You're going to know exactly what time you want to come to the charts. You're going to look for exactly what you're looking for in the charts. And if you don't see it, you're comfortable walking away. Hey, I don't have to trade every single day. I don't have to trade every single hour. It's cool. I just know the routine. It's just like a job. It's just like trade. It's just like driving. But until you get there, relax and enjoy the process. It's not about how much money you make. It's about what you learn in the process. One of the things people like to ask me all the time, well, Uncle P, show me your account. Show me how much you make. You know why I will never do that? Number one, because guess what? It ain't none of your business. First of all, okay? It ain't none of your business how much I make. Other people feel the need to prove how much they make. My lifestyle of being retired is good enough for me. If that ain't good enough for you, then I think I'm the wrong mentor for you. But number two, here's the deal. I don't need to keep tracking every single dollar I make, because once I do that, now I'm trading out of fear and not out of peace. And I don't need to be trading that way, because it keeps my mind distracted. Oh my God, I got to make this. Oh, I got to pay the house note. I got to do. See, it puts your mind in such a negative territory until you're approaching the charts with a sick mentality. And this is why people are asking me how much I'm making, because they want to know how much I make, because they ain't making nothing. Because they got this sick mentality of chasing the bag versus chasing the process. Please write that down. Chase the process, not the bag. The money will come when you understand the process. But you're not trying to learn the process, you're trying to get the money. Uncle P, well, look, if I give you some money, can you trade for me? No, I'm trying to teach you how to do this. I'm trying to give you the process so you can always make the money when you get it. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why people are getting scammed in this business, because you're too busy trying to get the bag of money before you get the understanding of how to get it. And when somebody comes along and is trying to tell you you need the education first, no, forget them. They're a scammer. And then this person just sends you a bunch of screenshots and tell you, send me money and I'll flip it for you. And then they burn you. And then you come in back, what happened? Well, guess what? You don't even have a clue what they're doing to make this money for you. All you know is, I just want this money. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, I've been around in this business long enough to see some of everything. And we have thousands of clients. And I'm telling you, I've seen it all. And it doesn't change, because people don't change their ways. Okay? Let's go to number 3. And I'm almost done. Here we go. So number 1 was remove your end goals from your weekly goals. Your weekly goals should just be, I'm going to take about 5 trades this week and see what my percentage rate is out of this strategy. My goal should be, I'm going to trade this and I'm not going to over leverage. And so you just have that small chunk of weekly goals. In other words, like that old saying goes, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You're trying to swallow the whole elephant and you're choking. Just take one step at a time and journal what you do, which is what my son said. Alabama in the house. You understand what I'm saying? My son, he told them, I journal everything. And he just journaled and followed a process and just literally treated it like a video game. Me, I was trying to get back on my financial feet. I just lost all this money in the real estate markets. All hell was breaking loose in my life. And now here I go. Forex is introduced to me. Now I got, this is a way to make money. And I came in the wrong way. And my journey was terrible. Meanwhile, my son, he comes in and, he plays and dibble and dab with it and this and that, and, and then he was doing MMA fighting, and then he was trading a little bit. Then he was boxing and, and then he was doing, he was just dibbling and dabbling. It was just a little something he was doing. Me, it was life or death. So I'm over leveraging on accounts. I'm highly intense. I get angry. Some of y'all dealing with that now. Come on. This is the truth. You have temper. You're very angry. You're very sensitive. You're very emotional. See, nothing good is coming from this because you're trying to force things too quickly. Meanwhile, him, it's just part of a game to him. Chicago in the house. So remove your end goal from your weekly goal. Just set small weekly goals. And then at the end of the month, let me give you guys an example of what it looks like. For an example. Which, by the way, this is on our website now. Go to the Signal service and you'll see the whole all the way year to date. Okay, year to date. So every week you'll begin to see exactly all the way from January, every single week, all the way to year to date on our signal service. Look at the numbers. You'll see that in the first couple of weeks, it was terrible. Ghana in the house. Got Ghana in the house. It was terrible. Why? Was it something we needed to do? No, it was just the markets were terrible. They had one of the worst openings of the year. Did you see it that way? Probably not. You saw it as you had the worst start of the year versus the markets had the worst start. See, so when you go back and look at our journey, you'll see, yeah, we killing the market, but one trade at a time or two trades at a time. And some are winning, some are not. But at the end of the week, which is what I look for, what is the goal at the end of the week? Did we pass the test of making some profits or did we not? See, just a weekly goal. Then we come back the next week and do the same thing, and the next week and the next week, and we do the same thing. But at the end of every week, we have so far been profitable in the signal service. Why? Because it's not about every single trade. It's just the game. This is a financial game. So number 2 was what you learn is more important than what you make. Once I learn a skill, I can duplicate it and make as much as I want off of it. But until I learn the skill, I can't. I'm crippling my career. If I gave you $1,000 a day and said trade it, but you are terrible at trading, do you think you're going to flip that money? Chances you will not. Why? Because you have money, but you don't have the skill. So which one was more important, getting the money or getting the skill? If I passed away today, I'm not worried about whether PJ going to be all right or not. Why? I'm passed along the skill to now it's just a video game for him to flip accounts and make money off of it. See, he learned the skill at his own pace. I gave him the tools. He took it at his own pace, and now he's good to go. I ain't got to worry about him. Can you say that about yourself? Last one. This is really important. It all goes down to this. Here's the third and most important one. Be patient. Patience pays the bills. Please write that down. And if you're in my group, you know I've been saying that for the longest. And I know a lot of people are going to watch this later on. Write this down. This is so critical. I learned this in my journey. Patience actually pays the bills. Let me give you an example of what that means in real time on the charts. What I have noticed on the charts in the markets, they have a particular behavioral pattern. Now, does it play out all the time exactly like this? No, it doesn't. But what I do know that it fits into the old term that I learned a long time ago called midweek reversals. A lot of new traders come in trying to do reversal trades, even though trend trades are available, right? To ride the trend. The trend is my friend. Yeah, it is. Sometimes it is. But what they come in doing is trying to scalp and trade off of the highs and lows of the day and this and that. And the problem is that because they're entering in, and we talked about this in class last week, it's not sometimes the strategy was never your issue. It was that you weren't patient enough to wait for the setup to complete itself. And you're trying to jump in early on this trade, talking about, well, I don't want to use a big stop loss, so I'm gonna jump in early, Uncle P. I'm gonna jump in early, Uncle P. And when I jump in, I want to save and get these extra pips, and they keep slapping you left and right. Why? Because you are just full of anxiety trying to make this money versus sit back, relax, and let the market bring you the opportunity. You have no patience. But what I have learned and what I've been teaching for the longest is patience pays the bills. For an example, on some of the AUD pairs, the odds, the AUD, they have been pushing up all week for the last 2 weeks. But guess what? If you would have took a trade, like for an example, go to your charts and check this and verify it. I started to record a video and I didn't. I should have. Go to AUD CAD. Look at it off the 4-hour time frame. And what I had saw on the 4-hour time frame was that it had created another high, but it was the high that it created. Watch this, and if you're new, you're going to learn something. They talk about lower highs. That means it shot up into created a high. Then it fell down, came back up, and created another high. But what I had noticed is this high was lower than this one. Go to your 4-hour charts and you verify this for yourself. So on Friday, Thursday going into Friday, what happened was the market did a retest over here to try to retest and challenge this high, but it couldn't reach all the way up. So it reached here. It created a lower high. And therefore, if you go to your charts and the market ain't open yet, so you can go see and verify, the market gave up some very nice gains on the AUD CAD, just like I anticipated. But when did it happen? Did it happen on Monday, Tuesday? No. Did it happen on Wednesday? No. You had to wait all the way until Thursday. And that trade would have paid you out very handsomely for some nice pips. That's just one of them. But what was the deal? You had to wait for the market to finish setting up before it was willing to give you payout. And that's some of you guys' challenge. You have no patience. You don't wait for nothing. That's when, somebody contacted us asking us, hey, does your trading system work on the 1 minute time frame? What is that already telling me about this person? If you was in my position as a trading mentor, and somebody's asking to get your trading system to trade off the 1 minute time frame, and they have not been trained to be a professional scalper, what do you think? What does that tell you, first of all, about the person's trading career? What is that possibly giving you insight into their temperament? Remember, you're not a trader, you're the coach. So just off of that question alone, is it not giving you insight that this person wants to be making money real quick, which means they probably have no patience, which means they're coming to you probably because they're blowing accounts. And in the back of your head, you're saying what? They need training because their pathway, based off of just the question they're asking, is already telling you they have a problem with patience. Do you hear what I'm saying? Now, I know I'm talking about this person who contacted us, but could that be your problem too? See, before we thrust fingers at others, okay, don't forget, you point at one person, you got these fingers pointing back at you. Is that your problem too? What would you have told this person? I prefer you don't come in as my student if that is going to be your mentality, because again, you're trying to quickly make profits and you're asking a question about quickness before you actually learn a skill. So I'm not going to reinforce what you know. Now, I'm more than welcome. I will more than welcome the person as a student if they're willing to drop what they think they know and come through the gates and learn what I have to teach. But if you're not willing to learn what I have to teach, I would prefer you not touch, don't go to another person who just wants your money. I don't want your money. Keep it. I want good students. I don't need your money. I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you, God, for helping me get back on my feet. But I do know what it takes, and it doesn't take doing that kind of stuff. Now, is there anything wrong with that? No. If you want that kind of results, I know I'm Uncle P. I know a lot about trading, but I am still going to confess the truth. I am not your expert scalper. I know how to do it, but I am not an expert in it. Therefore, I always tell people, if that is what you want, then guess what? Go join the Signal service so you can be under Jenny's tutelage and join the live scalping sessions where you can use her trading system, because when you sign up, you do get another trading system. Get her trading system specific for scalping, and therefore you'll be able to see the scalps in the way that she does, okay? But to come to me for it with our trading system, yeah, you can, but I'm more about teaching you patience. So I know I'm not going to be the best coach to fit you. If you want 1 minute and 5 minute time frames, then you need to be under the coach who coaches that. Let me give you an example. And I know most people will never do this because it requires honesty, but it's the truth. Here's the deal. The reason why I don't step into arenas that I know I'm not good at is because I don't want to present myself as a coach in an area that I don't have no expertise. I have knowledge of it, but I don't think it's to the level of being an expert in it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for an example, that's kind of like Phil Jackson from the Lakers. Okay. He was well known for his what? Triangle defense. He coached Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant and many others. Michael Jordan was coached by him. All these successful people, but that's what he was good at. He was a basketball coach. Now, as successful as Phil Jackson was, if he was to take his behind onto a football field, yeah, triangle offense, sorry about that. Yeah, thank you. If he was to take his successful mind and transfer it over to a football field, do you think he would have been just as successful? The answer is no. He was a great coach where? In basketball. So if you're looking to play football, you need to go get a football coach and learn the process. Mentorship is very important. Some of you guys, you don't want to be mentored. You're trying to go this journey alone and you're blowing accounts, you're frustrated, you're cussing, you're dealing with depression. You ain't telling nobody that, but you are. You're dealing with depression, you're dealing with sadness, you're moody, you're frustrated, you're throwing laptops and computers, you're kicking things, nobody wants to be around you because you have a temperament, you have anger issues now, your finances are in chaos, all this disaster while you're trying to grab onto a financial dream. Your process is crooked, loved one. I'm sorry, nobody told you the truth. And another strategy ain't gonna help you behind. Until you slow down and just be comfortable with, and you know what, I do want to quit my job, but let me set a goal to quit maybe a year or two from now. So I can give myself time. You coming in trying to quit your job tomorrow. I hate my boss. And so therefore, with that in mind, you coming in here and this boss called the markets is killing you worse than the boss at your job. I told you the truth would set you free. The truth will set you free. See, when you're trading, it's just you and that computer all alone. And there's nobody to tell you anything. And some of you guys, you're out of control. You really are. I suggest take a couple of days off and let this lesson today soak in. I know it's not a popular lesson, but it's vital to your success. Because this is where you are. How do I know? I came through the same gates because I was in a bad situation trying to get out of it. And the faster I was trying to push this process, the faster my money was fleeing from me. The harder the journey was. And by the time I figured it out, it was like, oh my God. If I did half of what I did, I would have went twice as far. That's the way it is in this business. Half the work gets you twice as far. Some of you guys, you're taking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 trades in a week, and you have nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, the ones, watch this, and I'll say this and I'm done. You don't believe me? Watch this. Some of y'all don't believe. Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to hit you in your face with some truth. Okay? Bow. Here's some truth. You guys who's following other people who post their trades online, right? Have you ever really paid attention to how many trades, if they're legitimately successful, have you ever paid attention to how many trades they say they're taking? Not the trade they took. See, you keep looking at how much they made on the trade, which is cool. But what you didn't pay attention to is how many trades a week are they actually taking? And what you'll realize, they're taking far less trades than you. Because what they're doing is, as I said, they're professional waiters. They wait for the setup. And once they see it, then they pounce on the trade and they capitalize majority of the time. You taking trades on everything. You know that Michael Phelps video with the hot sauce commercial? I put that beep on everything. You taking everything. And you have nothing to show for it at the end of the week except for frustration, tears, and cussing, mad. You go for a drink. It's not a fun process. And the markets are intimidating the heck out of you because you're trying to go too quick. You're not trying to learn the process. You're not getting mentorship. You're doing things but backwards. But the very people who you're following on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your YouTube channel, the ones you know who are legit, you're not even paying attention to the one simple thing they're teaching that they ain't said. How many trades are they taking in a week? If you just dealt with that alone and said, you know what, Uncle P, I never thought of that. If you just said, you know what, Uncle P, I'm just going to be patient and I'm just going to wait for 5 quality setups this week. I'm giving you a goal. I'm going to wait for 5 quality setups this week and I won't take any more. No more than 5 this week. And then see what your winning percentage is. As I teach my students all the time, they ask me, people say, well, how do you increase your winning percentage? Well, my answer is always the same thing that I learned. Stop trading so much. Take far less trades and wait for high quality setups, and you'll see your winning percentage automatically increase. Your stress levels will go down. Your anxiety levels will go down. Your depression levels will go down. Your frustration will go down. Your boss looking over your shoulder, wondering why you're so focused on your phone versus actually doing your job will go down. Everything changed. Okay. All right. I'm done for this week. Let me give you guys this. Very important. Wednesday is going to be the big day. Okay, Wednesday is going to be the big day. I'm waiting on my licensing guy to finish his part. He already did one. He has 2 more. He said it'll be ready by tomorrow. So I'm anticipating Wednesday would be the big day for the big release for those who've been waiting. And for those who wanted to know about the signal service results, last week we had 8 wins, 4 losses, 1 neutral. But the scalping group did 3,977 pips. So at the end of the day, we did way more wins than we did losses. But you guys who's trading in the markets, the markets are doggone crazy right now. Really, really crazy because of the war. And be careful. Let me tell you this. South Africa in the house. What's happening? What's happening? Let me say this to you guys. Be very, very careful of trading CADs, especially on Friday, because that's when oil news come out. That's why you had the spikes in oil. But because it's basically a fuel war, okay, I know it's also over Ukraine, but at the same time, you're constantly hearing the words about fuel costs, right? Your gas prices went up and everything else. That has to do with oil and natural gas. Well, CAD is tied to oil. So be very careful about it when you trade it because it can spike on you, okay, out of the blue. All right, that's my tip for the week. If you join Super Easy Forex, I will see you in class on Tuesday. If not, have a great week, and then I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. I will post a link in here for Zoom so I can do this massive presentation for you guys who've been waiting for the big kahuna to come out. It will be on Wednesday, and I will see you then. Peace and hair grease. Talk to y'all later.